The Circular Integrity Show, the premier podcast and information source for leaders in the ITAD and IT reseller community, with a focus on growth strategies, IT lifecycle services, and making sustainability profitable and beneficial to the environment.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Circular Integrity Show. I'm your host, Pete Paisley. What if I told you that the laptop you're about to sell as scrap could be worth significantly more than you think? And what if destroying data on thousands of mobility devices could take seconds instead of hours? Today, we're diving deep into the world of reverse logistics and the circular economy with a company that's providing new solutions for ITADs and resellers. Today, I'm thrilled to have Josh Beasley, CEO of Early Upgrade, join us. Early Upgrade isn't your typical tech recycling company. Founded in 2010, they've built something unique, a business that maximizes value recovery for everything from cell phones to laptops while maintaining the highest standards of data security and environmental responsibility. They truly deliver on their tagline, reuse, reimagined.
Reuse, reimagined. That stuff below your cut line? Meet your best partner for more cash. Keep your piece of the upside with revenue share and fast 30-day settlements. Branded reporting for partners. More options with our innovative on-site technologies. DataBot for your in-house data destruction. DataBot Go mobile version for secure on-site processing. And our DataBox service for secure, tracked, and serialized returns. Imagine your upside with Early Upgrade. Reuse, reimagined.
Josh, tell me about your background before joining Early Upgrade.
Sure. I've been in the technology services sector for my entire career, and like everyone else in this space, I fell into it. I've touched all elements of the product ecosystem, from manufacturing through to end of life. And along the way, I've worked for blue chip companies in the warranty and insurance space, helped grow some of the largest players in the secondary market, and also had a few startups of my own. It's been a hell of a ride, and, long may it continue.
Indeed. Let's start at the beginning for a minute. Early Upgrade was founded by Simon Levin in Jacksonville, Florida, back in 2010. What was the original vision, and how has it evolved?
Great question. So Simon started with a really simple premise, and that is that end of use cycle doesn't mean end of life cycle. He quickly saw a massive gap in the market. Companies were leaving money on the table because they didn't have the infrastructure and or expertise to maximize recovery from end of use or end of life devices. And by teaming up with Michael and Rodell, who are the other two partners in the business, who had successful entities in their own right, the three founders came together, combining subject matter expertise across a wide range of devices, components, and accessories.
I see. So the founding team saw an opportunity where others saw waste.
Exactly that. I mean, everyone in this industry rushes to get their hands on working inventory. That is the commodity that everyone loves to trade. But the damaged, broken, and obsolete items, they're the ones that are seen as a problem. And frankly, if you don't have the right setup in place to handle those items, they are a problem. But the team here created a business that was catering to that problem segment. And through compliant and innovative processes, we're ensuring that circular practices are being offered at every juncture of the product lifecycle.
So you're touching the stuff people didn't really like to deal with.
True circular economy requires you to solve hard problems.
Josh, let's talk about what makes your approach different some more. I understand you've developed innovative ways to create more value from scrap material.
We have, and it has been a game changer for ourselves and for our partners. Traditionally, the industry operates on either a price per piece or a weight-based model. You recycle a pallet of laptops and get paid based on either an item count or commodity weight.
Sounds straightforward, but I'm guessing there's a problem with this approach?
Huge problem, in that it treats everything as scrap, regardless as to its actual condition and actual value. A laptop that could be refurbished and sold for several $100s gets valued the same as one that is truly beyond repair, obsolete, and end of life. At the same time, the sum of recoverable parts can sometimes be greater than the value as a whole unit, but to understand that at a SKU level or serial level, It takes decades of experience.
Yeah, so what's your alternative?
Well, we offer a hybrid model at early upgrade. We guarantee a competitive salvage price up front, so our partners have baseline security and surety. But then we get creative by offering what I'd call kickers on upside. For example, that'd be a revenue share on the total economic value we recover. We process everything within a fixed short time frame and share the upside in a transparent manner with our partners.
That sounds like a great model. Can you give us some real examples?
Absolutely. Take the consumer electronics category, for instance. Our advanced recovery practices usually result in a gain of 20% or more on total product recovery in that category. That's taking items that were classified as scrap on inbound and converting them into useful products, albeit in some cases damaged or with disclosed faults. At the same time, we're extracting much greater value at a component level by leveraging parts harvesting and component level refurbishment. For one of our larger partners in the mobile space, we've enhanced their net recovery from salvage by more than 50%.
50%, that's some pretty good upside, Josh. And you're doing this at scale?
Yeah, so our Jacksonville facility currently handles in excess of 2 million items a month, which typically includes cell phones, tablets, laptops, wearables, and other various commodities.
So those are really impressive numbers. So what happens to devices that really can't be reclaimed or refurbished under this model?
Well, first and foremost, that's where our parts harvesting comes in. If a device is beyond economical repair, but we still have the ability to harvest OEM parts, that's what we'll do. This creates a consistent supply of genuine parts for repairs, which keeps more devices in circulation for longer. Our team of 50-plus level 3 repair technicians can then reuse those parts when more viable to do so, creating more finished goods for resale. The devices that fall outside of that harvestable category are then responsibly downstreamed in line with industry standards. It's what we'd call circular economy in action.
Here's what we often hear. We don't need ISO or other certifications right now, or our clients aren't asking for it. Just because it's not needed today doesn't mean it won't be required tomorrow. Certifications usually take 7 to 16 weeks to complete. That's 2 to 4 months. If a client suddenly requires it, waiting isn't an option. These certifications help you qualify faster for global and OEM contracts. Keeps your operations audit ready all year. Cuts internal waste and rework. Builds trust with buyers before price is even discussed. For example, a U.S. plastics and machinery manufacturer invested $8,000 in ISO 9001 plus ISO 14001. The next quarter, they qualified for 2 OEM contracts worth $240,000. Another firm in the same space skipped certification and couldn't even bid. ISO isn't an expense, it's proof you're ready when opportunity knocks. Don't wait for a client to demand it be the one already certified. Book your free consultation today with MG Environmental Consulting.
I want to shift gears and talk about something that really caught my attention, the data bot. In our prep, I learned about this and I found it pretty exciting. Can you tell me more about it?
Yeah, so the DataBot is solving a very real problem. So the DataBot is a pre-programmed drill system that performs data destruction on a catalog of around 4,000 pre-programmed devices. It destroys memory-bearing components in seconds. So its method is what we call targeted physical destruction. And that ensures utmost surety in terms of data destruction whilst allowing you to maximize recovery by leaving harvestable components intact.
How does it do it in seconds?
Well, traditional methods typically involve disassembly and shredding, which technically takes 8 to 12 minutes of manual labor per device on average. The DataBot, on the other hand, precisely drills through the memory storage, whether it's a phone, tablet, laptop, wearable, or SSD, in 8 to 20 seconds with zero disassembly.
So you're 60 times faster than traditional shredding.
When you factor in disassembly time, yes, but speed isn't even the biggest benefit of the DataBot.
What is it?
Data security, traceability, and material recovery, in that order. I've seen countless disintegration processes which lack reliability and auditability and result in significant data risks for any companies that are leveraging them. At the same time, I've seen shred processes which involve destroying an entire device, resulting in the destruction and end of life for valuable components such as screens, processors, batteries, casings. These are important and finite resources. With the DataBot, we only destroy the memory and the rear housing. Everything else, however, remains intact and valuable.
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's brilliant, really. You're meeting data security requirements for physical destruction while preserving material value.
Yeah, and we're also working with the various bodies in the industry to try and make the standards tenable. We provide full auditability and serialized records of destruction with video documentation that conforms to the leading standards today. Our clients can even have a branded portal so it looks like they're doing the processing in-house. We're working hand in hand with the industry bodies and obtained independent certifications and verifications from the likes of ADISA and OnTrack to validate what we're doing. And what's more, we're making data destruction easy to comprehend. It's a tangled web out there, and that leads to huge inefficiency.
Yeah, and as I understand, Josh, very little training required to use this device as well, right?
Yeah, that's correct. You can typically train someone to use it in less than 15 minutes. It's highly intuitive.
And now this technology is mobile with the DataBot Go.
Yeah, so this is one we're very excited about. The DataBot's come a long way over the last few years, starting out as a drill press and now becoming a fully autonomized robot. The DataBot Go, which is the portable version, is designed for secure environments where devices can't leave the premises. So think about government facilities, healthcare, financial institutions. It's a battery-operated version of the DataBot and can function without internet connectivity. It's the same destruction capability as the tabletop version, but it's portable.
Yeah, great idea. So tell me how you charge for the DataBot.
So we started by selling DataBots outright, but pivoted away from that earlier this year. The upfront model created a big barrier to entry in the form of a hefty upfront cost, offered little flexibility, and ultimately, in my opinion, undervalued the IP that we'd spent years and vast amount of capital developing. The new lease and rental plans allows users of the DataBot to scale it in accordance with their own revenues, which is really important because we want to create a tool that's for the greater good that the whole industry can access.
You've also developed something called the Data Box. How does that fit into your ecosystem?
Yeah, so the data box solves the chain of custody challenge. It's a secure, tracked, and serialized transportation solution, with each box concealed by a metal tab and coming with a built-in tracking device.
So companies can accumulate devices securely on site for shipment to you.
Right, so they can keep it on site until it's full. At that point, we'll arrange pickup and send a new box. It provides complete traceability for unprocessed data-bearing devices, which is critical for both compliance and physical security. And this works particularly well for companies who aggregate product over time and for whom it makes sense to use our DataBot as a service whereby we drill products for people in Jacksonville. Not everybody has a location or velocity that, warrants the use of a DataBot on site, but we can still offer the solution in the form of a service.
Well, it sounds like you've thought about every important step in the process.
Far from it. I mean, we're in a fascinating industry which is constantly evolving, but we're always looking to innovate, and frankly, we've had to. Our clients include OEMs, insurance providers, ITAD companies, recyclers, carriers, government entities, and they need solutions that are secure, compliant, auditable, and economically optimized. We can't just solve one piece of the puzzle.
Let's turn to one of your other businesses, Quick Ship Brands. How does that operation work?
So Quick Ship, similar to Early Upgrade, has been around actually for almost 20 years, and it offers returns management and re-commerce solutions for major retailers and brands, focusing on B2C, which is notoriously challenging. When you return a product to a major retailer in the US, there's a pretty good chance it comes to one of our facilities.
And what happens to those returns?
First and foremost, speed matters. We process them quickly, checking refund eligibility, inspecting the item, and validating the return. At that point, the customer's obviously made whole, which is why the speed matters so much. Then our remarketing intelligence takes over, routing each product through its optimal resale channel. QuickShip's one of the largest marketplace sellers. We pride ourselves on putting goods back into the hands of end users wherever possible.
You mentioned remarketing intelligence. Can you tell me a bit more about that?
Yeah, so over the last 8 years, we built a proprietary system called on.xyz. And this system leverages real-time sales data to ensure we're placing items back into the right channel according to chain of custody, customer safety, and value recovery maximization. Through on.xyz, we've automated item routing, online listing creation, and more. When selling items through consumer marketplaces, on XYZ cuts manual handling time by more than 85% at an itemized level. And when listing through on XYZ, because it's built on a uniform standard, we ensure that products are listed for what they are, which has managed to cut our overall return rate by more than 70% comparative to industry standards.
So you're really optimizing the entire re-commerce life cycle.
Exactly, and we do this across a range of most consumer product categories. It's not just tech. I mean, we get everything from food products to home goods to patio sets, canoes, you name it. And much of this process for remarketing is automated through on XYZ, and that's allowed us to scale efficiently and effectively.
So that automation must be key to handling the volume you're processing.
Yeah, I'll just say it. I mean, we couldn't do what we do manually. We're handling hundreds of thousands of items every month on a one-for-one basis. And the intelligent systems we built are really the secret sauce that pull it all together. And couple that together with 2 decades of experience in what I'd describe as re-commerce through e-commerce, we're a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, and Josh, I want to make sure we tie this together for our listeners. If I'm an ITAD and I've got a mix of businesses from corporations, retail returns, etc., and I decide to do business with you, how am I harnessing the power of both the early upgrade business and the quick ship business?
Comes back to sales channel optimization, making sure that a product is going into the right channel according to exactly what it is. So if you're looking at high value products or working products that hasn't yet reached the end of its useful life, a lot of that can be remarketed through QuickShip. We can put it back in the hands of consumers who will use it until the end of its true useful life. For the product that is damaged, that's at end of life, that is obsolete, or that is mandatory for destruction, we can move that through early upgrade, which is both R2 and NAID AAA certified. So what I try and do with both companies is ensure that we are offering an end-to-end service without compromising on subject matter expertise. Because QuickShip's expertise is remarketing products through consumer channels. Early upgrades is offering a really secure and high value recovery end of life solution for a wide range of products. And that's how we do it. It's offering the full value chain with zero compromise on expertise.
Josh, as we wrap up, where do you see early upgrade and the circular economy heading in the next 5 years?
Well, I think we've now reached an inflection point. And it's exciting. Consumers and businesses are demanding sustainability, but they also need economic viability and data security. In order to achieve all those things, we need better collaboration from a top down in this industry. And I'm talking about those who set the standards and the standards themselves, which need reform. And that comes with great opportunity and great responsibility. The model that we're building at Early Upgrade just proves that you don't have to choose between doing good and doing well.
Yeah, I agree. And we should all be working towards that same end.
Yeah, completely agree. I see a future where reverse logistics and circular economy aren't afterthoughts. They should be built into product design at inception and business models with that. And I believe they will be. What we're doing here on the back end, when you look at the end or the end of a use cycle or the end of a device life cycle, we're not talking about something that should be a token gesture or, something that gets thrown around in marketing spiel as being a sustainable enterprise. Early Upgrade wants to be the infrastructure that makes everything possible here.
Yeah. And that's a fantastic vision. Josh, I appreciate you being with us today, but I want you to stick around for a minute. We're going to entertain some questions from some of our industry leaders.
Time for Audience Talkback. Questions from industry leaders you want to hear.
Josh, I know everyone's talking about the new tech that's coming out, but can you tell me what's going to happen to all the old tech and what's recoverable from those aging devices?
Heck of a lot. I think often we get drawn into a misconception that just because a component's old, there's no value to it. But I think what we have to keep in mind is the number of precious metals and elements that go into making a component part. I saw something recently that said in mobile phones there are 48 elements. So if you think about a device from 10 years ago, yeah, the camera or the screen or whatever in its full form factor might not be up to date, but the amount of raw material recovery that's still possible from that item is huge. And that's why we've got to look at these old and obsolete products as a source of raw materials for the future of manufacturing. We've all been, hearing about the shortage of raw materials over the last few years, unless we've been living under rocks. And I think it's really important that we address it, because all of these products, are a source for that if we're using them properly and extracting value as we should be.
Hey Pete, hope you're well. I wanted to talk to you today about a company called Early Upgrade. They have this new service that's really interesting, and it's a data bot. And I wanted to ask the question how that compares with traditional destruction methods, which involve disassembly, shredding, and the like not.
Well, if you're comparing the method itself, I guess at a high level, there are some comparisons between shredding and what we do with the data bot in the form of destruction, which is destruction by disintegration. That's where the similarities kind of start and stop. What we do through the data bot and why it has such benefit is the method of destruction is what we've called targeted physical destruction. And why that's important is if you look at the chips within devices these days, they've gone from 10 years ago being this big to now being this big. And it's imperative that when you're destroying those chips now, given the smaller form factor, that you're hitting the chip with precision every time. When you put a device into a shredder, it's getting broken up into chunks, but it's done so without a high degree of accuracy. And what we've done with the data bot is enhance that accuracy, which in tune massively enhances data security at a product level. The second call out I'd have on that is the traceability as well that we've brought to the table with the data bot. Because again, if you go to a shred facility, what happens most of the time is devices are put onto a conveyor, they're fed into a shredder in bulk, and there's no real way of tracing one for one, end to end, that device here was put on the conveyor belt and it went into the shredder. There's a lack of auditability there. And what we've done with the data bot is actually put a camera within each unit. That camera captures a serialized and time-stamped photograph and video of every device that's run through it. So with absolute certainty that one device has been processed and destroyed. And you can hand that certificate of destruction and video and photo evidence to clients and partners through our portal. And it again just provides peace of mind that device has been processed, and it's been processed with a high degree of distinction through the data bot. Third component of the data bot, which adds a ton of value, is the fact that we allow for enhanced recovery through this method of destruction. And what I mean by that is, if you're looking at a shred process, which is whole device shredding, you're throwing away what are, tens of valuable components per item. Whereas because the data bot leaves all components barring rear housing and memory bearing chips intact, it allows for brands to recover the recoverable parts as opposed to throwing them in the shredder with the board. So what we're trying to do here is make sure that number one, we're offering a targeted destruction method that's 100% reliable. Two, we're offering traceability that provides one-for-one product assurance on destruction. And three, we're ensuring that net value recovery is optimized by allowing you to recover harvestable parts as opposed to throwing them in a shredder with data-bearing components.
Hey, Pete and Josh. Question for you. What's the best way to secure data and extract maximum value from data-bearing assets?
Well, first and foremost, product that still has useful life, that has full functional integrity, and that can be systematically data wiped, should be systematically data wiped. I think too often we rush products to end of life because of fears around data security. But if one of the industry approved tools like a Blanco, an Apcudo, a Future Dial, a Phone Check, if their tools can wipe a product, then we should be wiping them. We shouldn't be sending products straight to end of life. I see way too many products every single day that are pushed to an early retirement or early destruction simply because the perception is that the only way to secure data is to destroy an asset. We live in a cloud-connected world, for one, so a lot of the data now isn't actually stored on devices, it's stored in cloud media. But secondly, devices that can be wiped should be wiped and resold. That's the first port of call I would call out. The devices that can't be wiped, of course, do need to be securely recycled. You don't want devices getting out there with corporation or personal data on there. I mean, on devices now, we've got medical data, banking data, you name it, everything's on there. So for those devices that can't be systematically erased, they should be securely destroyed. And I firmly believe that the data bot is the most secure and auditable way to do that, which is why we're continuing to invest in this technology. The targeted destruction method that we deploy ensures that we're hitting memory-bearing chips every single time. And I don't think the same can be said for other methods, which is why, again, we're investing so much in drill technology because we feel it's the way to go.
Early Upgrade is proving that circular economy isn't just an environmental imperative, it's a business opportunity. From their innovative, partner-oriented revenue models to the DataBot's lightning-fast data destruction, they're providing important aspects of tech recovery. I'd encourage you to reach out to Josh or his team at Early Upgrade. You can learn more at their website or use the email shown here. Now stay tuned. We've got more great episodes of the Circular Integrity Show lined up this month. So make sure you're subscribed wherever you get your podcasts. And remember, sustainability isn't just good for the environment, it's good for business.